When people think about developing knockout power, they think about using heavy weights, fancy equipment. In today's video, I'm going to teach you 3 bodyweight exercises that's going to take your punching power from average to elite. It's not just my opinion. Many old school fighters and legendary fighters like Mike Tyson, Rampage Jackson, and many others would also agree with these methods. Real power comes from knowing how to use your body, knowing how to be explosive, and knowing how to use your kinetic chain, your kinetic energy to develop real punching power. Now, the first exercise is developing strong legs. From the bottom of the movement to the top of the movement, that kinetic energy rising from the legs to the hips to the upper body. This here is an explosive squat jump. Now, Mike Tyson swears by this movement, where he passed this information and knowledge on to Rampage Jackson, who also swears by this movement. This develops real power, real stamina, real fitness, and using your body as explosive as you can. Now, many people may say that, well, if I put a heavy weight on my back and load it onto my back and try to be as explosive as I can, that's going to develop more power than this. And I'm not going to argue about what movement's better. What I am arguing here is that you can use your body way more explosive because you don't have any weights on it. And the reason being why this is so effective is because you are learning how to be explosive inside the cage, inside the ring, on the judo mats, as a wrestler, whatever your sport may be. But with knockout power specifically, this is going to develop so much power and strength in your body. That chain of energy rising from the floor to the top is going to help you get that knockout that you need. Now, this next exercise is developing again that explosive power in our back, in our forearms, and then that kinetic chain through the core and through the whole body. Now, what we're focusing on here is slightly different than your traditional approach. When you see a pull-up, you're thinking locking fully out, keeping your legs straight, touching the bar at the top, and coming down slow with a nice controlled eccentric. That's great for bodybuilding, but is that really going to transfer well over into the cage, into the ring? No, it's not. This method, you see Russian fighters using this here, and you're maybe thinking to yourself, well, that's not proper form. They're kipping, they're swinging, but what are they trying to do? They are trying to use their body as fast as they can, and they are trying to use their body as explosive and as aggressive as they can so that they can develop that knockout power in their back and their forearms. The last exercise is an explosive press up. What I want to do here is modify a couple of things. What we can do is, if you can get onto your knuckles, you're going to develop in that chain of strength in the forearms, in the wrists. That's going to massively transfer over into the cage, into the ring when you go to strike. And also on top of that, again, like I says, we're not focusing on stretching. We're not focusing on being a bodybuilder here. We're focusing on explosiveness. So the form and the technique itself may look a bit wild, but what we're focusing on is strengthening the core, squeezing the glutes together, getting that hips and that chain of energy rising from our body so that we become static and strong. And from there, we can now move explosively. Now, my final take on this is that I love weight training. I think it has its place, and it's been a great benefit to my life, and developing many styles of training has helped me become a really good athlete. Now, my final take on this is that I love weight training. I think it has its place, and it's been a great benefit to my life, and developing many styles of training has helped me become a really good athlete. However, what I will say is that this method of training and this approach of training that's been around for a long time will always be a staple in my training program, will always be a way for me to develop power, for me to become a better athlete. And you can do this right now at home, and that's what I love most about this. You don't need fancy equipment, you don't need heavy weights. You can develop real power right now. Thank you so much for watching the video. I will see you in the next one.